I'm paying to watch these games. I want to watch these games. We watch 3-4 hockey games a night. That is the only avenue to legally do it. I want to do it. I want to pay for it. I want to get it, and I want to have a good experience. This is unacceptable, though. Yesterday, I said I had a bombshell about a major streaming service. Here it is. This is about ESPN Plus, and it's something that we discussed last night, and I'm going to bring it to the show. I wanted to make sure that I had enough evidence, and that though this is something at this point, I feel we can only say I believe, I think I will present enough evidence that you will feel we've borderline got a smoking gun here. Okay, here goes. Last night, for the second time this season, I realized when watching a live event on ESPN Plus that the game I was watching, though I had not hit pause or rewound, was no longer live. And the first time it happened on Saturday night, I felt stupid because I saw, what was it? Someone scored, and Noah Philp scored. And I went to tweet like Noah Philp Calder campaign. And when I went to do it, there were clips on Twitter of the goal already from like NHL.com that was like 3 minutes old. And Kennedy and all these Oilers fans were already put. I was like, how bad is my internet? Mm-hmm. And then I checked and I was minutes behind on the feed. And I was like, that's weird. So I caught up on ESPN Plus and went about the rest of my life. Last night, it happened again. I was like, what is going on here? So I realized during a commercial break that ESPN Plus now, it has like the timed ad thing in the upper right-hand corner where it's playing you an ad. It's not showing you the ad from the original broadcast. So for example, if you're watching a game that originally airs on Sportsnet, it goes to break and maybe you'll see something about Boston Pizza or some things that would be aired on Sportsnet. Instead, I'm getting almost like if you're watching Hulu, where you get 2 minutes left in this ad, 3 minutes left in this ad, and it's typically around numbers, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes or whatever. ESPN then returns to the game after that ad. And I believe they start you where the original broadcast rejoined. So they come back from break and they say, okay, we're back here and here's the stats for the goalie or whatever, and they continue on. But sometimes, if not all the time, the ads that ESPN has put into the ad breaks are longer than the original broadcast's ad breaks. So the game returns, and without you knowing it, you are no longer live. Let me summarize. And Sean, if you could give the lower thirds here. I believe ESPN Plus is inserting ads that can be longer than the broadcast's commercial breaks. There you go. This eventually makes viewers' feeds no longer live, and they don't know that unless they manually check. Do you have any thoughts on this, either of you?
So you texted this last night, and my first reaction was, DJ's being dramatic. He's making his problem everybody else's problem. He's taking something that maybe is a skill issue, user issue, and applying it to the general public. And then last night, just out of curiosity, I checked to see where I was in my ESPN Plus feed in relation to a live game. This shit's fucking happening. It is absolutely happening.
I mean, I
was like 3 minutes, like game minutes behind where I should be on the live feed. This is not only happening, I don't even want to call it a conspiracy theory anymore because it's happening and it's absolutely inexcusable.
I explained it to my girlfriend this morning. It took me like 9 hours, and that's why I made sure I wrote out everything on the lower thirds and everything because it can be a little clunky to follow along with. She said, this doesn't sound like a conspiracy theory. It just sounds like, and I said, that's right. It's a conspiracy.
I was going to say.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
Difference.
It's the uncovering of a conspiracy theory, Sean.
So That's my only thing, is I am not positive there's a conspiracy. I think this is just as likely a product of ESPN's ineptitude as it
No.
is a
No.
distinct
What's the
conspiracy.
No way.
Whose razor is it? The do not attribute to malice what could also
Arkham's
be
razor, I
attributed to who's it? Is it
Is it Arkham's razor?
Occam's razor? I
Occam's
mean, I know
razor,
that's
yeah.
one of the popular razors.
That's basically like just the simplest solution is the most likely solution.
Hanlon's razor. It's an adage or that states never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. And Pete, deep in my beliefs, I think that people aren't as malicious as we think they are. Sometimes they're just dumb. So it could be.
No, when we're talking about like multi-billion-dollar corporations and like I know that like Disney's app sucks and that's fine.
What I think it all most likely boils down to.
I think that this is maybe it's my cynic brain, but I think this is how do we squeeze the very last cent out of companies and advertising dollars. These consumers consumers aren't going to care or maybe even notice that we're rejoining 30 seconds late.
Yeah, I totally believe that they would do that. I am just not wholly convinced that they. It's kind of like the NFL with refs, where I'm like, I think the more likely option is just that they're bad at their jobs. But yeah. I would not be surprised to find out that they were doing this purposefully. The one question I did have is because I feel like a lot of times when I'm watching streams, the ad like very unceremoniously cuts and goes back. Was that part of your experience? Still.
There is like a harsh rejoin a lot.
Yeah. So that's part of my theory that it is ineptitude and not purposeful, because I feel like if it was on purpose, that would be a little bit more graceful of a transition.
Okay. I have now testified to my experience. Pete has testified to his. Sean, could you please play the video titled Smoking.gun.Dave? Okay, right now I am watching a live sporting event on ESPN+. I will show you that it is live. There you see it is live. 105. The time is 16:56. I will document that without touching the remote or the progress of this game.
We're about to see piss.
Through ads being jammed in at commercial breaks that are longer than the actual breaks, this game will no longer be live, and I will be given no indication other than when I manually check myself. We are now a commercial break, and we are seeing this upper right ad, 135, 134. These things are often 2 minutes plus. Do we know if this is lining up with what Sportsnet's doing right now? Does ESPN got it like that? Let's find out. Add another commercial. Another 2 minutes. They're going to tell us about tires. I'm tired of waiting for live sports. Let's check in. Let's see what happens. So let's check in later in the game. And let's see, 14:47 it says is left in the third period. Oh, and no, we are well behind. Look at that bullshit right there. So we are going to, it's at 14:36. Okay, tough guy. I'll play around. Let's get live from 14:30 to 13:09. Unbelievable.
That's
minute
fucking
and
crazy.
20 seconds. That is longer than my second marriage. What a save by Stu. He is just the god. I've blown this wide open. I've blown it wide open.
That's incredible.
I rest my case.
It's just this has to be fixed. But before we go on, can we go back to the video? Can you show like the start of the video?
Like the very start?
Yeah, like that's fine.
Okay, right now I'm watching
hanging out
a
in Dylan
live
Gunther's house?
sporting event on ESPN.
Those walls are bare, brother.
Yes, you'll see to the right. Yeah.
There you see it is
Yeah.
live.
Before we move on, I just wanted to address that.
Okay, let the record show that as well.
I mean, regardless of whether it is ineptitude or purposeful, it definitely needs to be fixed. Like a minute and a half is fucking ridiculous.
Now, Pete, you brought up something that I thought the chat might feel, and you've remedied it very well, and you've quelled that concern in my eyes, which is that maybe it was just my experience. Maybe it was just a DJ problem, and I'm saying my experience means this is happening. You tested it for yourself. You said it happened to you. Here's what really made me feel, okay, this is going on. And this was before I took this video. We were texting about the problem. I tweeted this. I tweeted, on tomorrow's What Chaos, I will blow the lid off what I believe is an absolute crime being committed by a top streaming service unless I realize before then that I'm just using it wrong. And yes, the first response was from my friend Rob, who said, I can't wait till 2 hours from now when you say, my bad, I was using it wrong. But here are the other responses. Right. From It's Christina. Is it ESPN Plus and their new super long commercials that somehow make you end up being minutes behind live action so you can't check social media for fear of seeing spoilers? Or am I just using it wrong? Now there's two of us.
Yeah.
Not the only response. To that, Jody and Moose respond, I'm so pissed at this, I can't see straight. Every commercial break, I sit there repeatedly hitting the fast forward and live buttons. When I choose to watch a live feed that I'm paying for, they delay it. Care to weigh in on this at ESPN Plus? Now, I placed a phone call this morning.
Sure did.
To ESPN customer service.
I'll say this. As somebody who does not like those types of phone calls, it was a very painful pre-show for me having to listen to this conversation. But
why don't you like those
to
phone
your
calls?
credit, you are a hero because somebody has to make that phone call, and you did a great job.
Well, wait, why don't you like the phone? Like you don't like making
I just
them,
don't.
or
I
you
just don't like confrontation. I don't like somebody who works in customer service having to like
deal
their
with a problem
employers,
that's not theirs.
Oh, yeah.
like their employers' problems being made their problem, and I know that's like literally their job. It's just uncomfortable for me.
But to be fair, DJ was probably the nicest phone call I've
Very
gotten all
polite.
day.
Very
'Cause
polite.
Most of the time, they probably are getting screamed at for stuff that is
Oh
really
no,
not their fault.
I called and I said I have a problem with, or I have questions about the ESPN Plus service right now, and I said these are what I have questions about. This is what I'm trying to figure out. Do you think we could discuss this, and you think that you might be able to help me? And she was like, yeah, absolutely, great. And it was, I know what you're saying. Like most of those people get calls that are like, I need this to work now. And like, we've all gone through that where you're like, why isn't internet happening in my house or whatever? But like, that's not the purpose of this. It wasn't to yell at this person because obviously it's not their fault. I more wanted to know, like, what do you know about this? Is this
Have you heard
something
this
that
before?
yes, is this something that ESPN knows is happening? And there was the person, I'm not going to name them because they were so nice to me that I feel like they would honestly get in trouble for being as nice to me as they were. And we talked through a few things. Could it be that I don't have the correct level of ESPN Plus subscription? Because I checked what I have.
There's no level of ESPN Plus subscription that should put you minutes behind a game broadcast.
I love
That's
the
what I
idea
posited.
that they're like, you're broke, but not broke enough that you can't afford it.
She said, I don't think it is this, but which service do you have? And I said, I did not know there were levels. And I
Good problem
checked.
solving.
I said, I have Select. And she said, okay, there is Select and there is Unlimited. So we went through the descriptions of what each one are. And I have it right here. ESPN Select, which is what I have, probably what a lot of you folks have. All ESPN Plus live events, plus ESPN Originals, 30 for 30s, and E60s in parentheses with ads. That is $11.99 a month. For $29.99 a month, you can get ESPN Unlimited, which is all ESPN networks and services, including ESPN Plus. Pete, could you read that for me? This is really doing Pablo Torre Finds Out style.
With ads.
With ads. They both contain ads. I checked with this lovely person on this, and they said, quote, the truth is all ESPN plans have ads. It might vary. It might be more than each other, but they all have ads. And when I explained this specific problem to the person, they said, it could maybe be a technical thing, but if other people are having this problem, it's something that basically she said could be a, quote, new arrangement with ESPN. And I said, I believe that that's what it is. I think it's a new thing they're doing because I haven't experienced this before. But the fact that I was having it and that other people were having it made her say, okay, like, I'm going to send this through to the team and whatever, and I'm going to stay in contact with this person. Believe you me, because this is a problem that should not be going on. And yes, Sean, I will give them the benefit of the doubt of maybe they somehow didn't know that they are putting in ads that are longer than the breaks and then bringing it back right at the start. It seems work is being done.
A shred of that possibility.
It seems like work is being done to make sure this goes their way.
Yeah.
And their way is they get to sell those 3-minute ads or those 2-minute ads.
One extra ad per break.
I'm still not completely convinced that this isn't at least partially due to their ineptitude. I will say I have not had the experience like that ad. I haven't seen that yet. The specific countdown, like Hulu style ads. So that's different. The only other thing I will say is it is not like, I feel like historically what they would do is if they really wanted to get those ads in, they would just ruin the actual game experience. Like they wouldn't try and fuck over they would just like make the breaks in the actual hockey game longer. So I just am not at a point where like I am fully convinced that they are just being like double middle fingers to the viewer. This strikes me as something that will eventually be rectified.
But if it gets rectified, it's because people make noise about it.
That's
like
fair.
I see this as something, them testing how much they can get away with and how much they can kind of push the limit to maximize profit.
That's how I feel.
That's where that might be the difference. Is I don't know if it's necessarily malice and like an intentional, let's see how far we can go. I think if anything, it is more of a, we don't give a shit. We don't care about your experience. We're going to get these ads in and you can rewind the fucking thing if you want because it's still there.
I think this is more a them banking on people not noticing, like me. Which is, I would not have noticed.
That's the biggest thing. I'm glad you bring that up. The biggest thing is that we don't notice.
Yeah.
Like if it told you, if it flashed up in the bottom corner, it just said like go live ? And you had to keep hitting go live during the game, we would absolutely complain about that, but we would know what was happening.
You'd be like, this app sucks. Like have your complaints about the app and how it falls behind. But I feel like that would have been me for months. I would have been like, I'm so sick of the ESPN app falling behind, but I wouldn't have quite connected and pieced it together in my brain why it was falling behind. And then when I got there, I'm definitely confident that I wouldn't have been motivated enough to make a phone call, put this out there.
Oh, I definitely would not have done anything about it.
Definitely. I would just complain and be like, this, I would just quietly accept the experience becoming shittier and shittier. And I think that's what they bank on. And unfortunately, a lot of people, I think, fall into my camp.
To be fair, like, and maybe this is all, like, maybe I'm falling victim to this specific strategy of being like, we have sucked so bad in the past, like, we can do this. And they're just going to think it's ESPN suck, especially with the hockey broadcasts, because that has been a thing over the years, being like, these broadcasts suck, the sound sucks, the sound's not sunk up with the audio or like the video. Like, so that's where I think my assumption that it was just their lack of or just their stupidity.
Sean, you'll need to scroll up to find this, but we've got some we've got information or updates on the account levels that are held by other people who have experienced this. It's Christina who had initially replied to my tweet saying they had the same problem, said that they have Select, which is the same as me. And
can I ask a question about that?
Wait, hold on. So they have Select, but I believe it was Eileen in there somewhere who says, keep going. Oh, yes. Eileen is experiencing it as well and has unlimited.
I would respect it more if they were just like, fuck you, you pores.
And I said this to the customer service person. I said, if this is simply a thing like Hulu where you got to throw money at it to make it go away, you got me. Like I am right. I am the one for that. I will throw money at the problem and pay way too much to just have a normal experience. And is that wrong? Yes, but
It's late stage capitalism, baby.
But I will do that. That's not what's happening here, though, because people who have the premium level, unlimited, are experiencing it as well.
Here's my question. I don't know what level I have, but I do know that oftentimes I don't get a commercial feed. I get like the ESPN waiting screen.
Yeah,
where
that's
it's
the
like,
other thing that confuses me.
I'm okay with that.
No. But what I'm saying is I get that a lot, and it's not an actual commercial that they're running, and my game still rejoins late. So I think whether you're getting a commercial or just this like in-game break, they're both lasting the same amount of time.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is this product's always been shitty. It's been shitty for as long as hockey has been on it. So the idea that like this is just another product them being shitty, and then them being like, I mean, just not caring or leaning into it because they're getting money from advertisers. Like, I just ultimately, whether it's the federal government or large corporations, I just don't have that much faith in people's intelligence.
Definitely.
Or the ability to keep things secret on large scales.
Neil Simmons says, my biggest gripe with the Select Unlimited plans is that they removed the multi-view option that used to come with my regular ESPN Plus account. I still have the multi-view option.
What do you watch
I
it
have
on? What do you watch it on? Like what device?
The ESPN app.
But on what device?
TV?
Because I have had the
to
multi-view
ESPN,
thing on my Xbox app, but I've never had it on desktop.
I mean, I'm mainly
Or like
watching on a TV or on my Roku stick.
Okay, my Amazon Fire Stick has never had, as long as I've had it, the multi-view option, but
I feel like
the Xbox app has
the multi-view thing is new to me. Like I just noticed it this year.
I agree.
really?
Yes, I
I've
also didn't
always-
experience that. I have that with like YouTube TV,
yeah.
but I
Yes.
don't on ESPN.
I've always had the multi-view thing on my Xbox app, only the Xbox app, which has made no sense to me.
Oh, Neil says he's on the Xbox app.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Paulie has Paulie's razor is anything that can plausibly be explained by potential increased ad revenue is usually motivated by potential for increased ad revenue. It's definitely media buying related.
Another
That's
thing is,
my guess.
I don't think the NHL would be okay with this because it's not their ad money. So
Correct.
Like,
And yeah, I think that if there is a path to this being fixed pretty quickly, it's from the leagues that are being affected and their fan base is being affected by the behavior and morality
Now,
of the
I'll
streaming.
speculate-
know if this is
though-
an NHL thing.
I don't know if it's just an NHL thing, but this is something that does exist in other areas. Like our show, for example, we do ad reads during the show. Part of the show, baked into this broadcast, if you will, is a couple ad reads, 2-3 ad reads. You can then choose for monetization purposes on like YouTube and Spotify, right, Sean? To
Bypass.
add in
like mid-roll ads.
like mid-roll ads.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly the same, but like I feel like there's precedent for something like this existing, which is we're already getting you to pay for this product, but we could still jam in a couple of more ads and kind of double dip.
Well, I think that it's because that comparison doesn't exactly work because you're still resuming the video on YouTube at the point in which you left.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Which, by the way, we're not heroes by any means, but like a year ago, we disabled mid-roll ad reads because it's bad for the user experience.
Yeah.
And
And
we
that
love
you
you
like-
guys,
yeah, you missed
and
part of
we
it.
don't want to do that shit. So no mid-roll ads. But I think the more apt comparison here is Twitch. Twitch is a really, really good example of this because if you watch a Twitch streamer, they will, and you're not subscribed to this Twitch streamer, they will fucking pepper you
sometimes they'll just
with
fuck you.
intrusive ads that take you away from the stream, and you'll miss parts of the stream,
you'll see
and then
in the
you'll have to
comments, yeah.
rewind to go back. So they basically force you to subscribe, and like, if you want to be able to watch this streamer without getting absolutely hammered over the head with ads, you got to pay.
Yeah. And somebody brought up another thing. Who was it here? Brandon. Wait until this affects live sports betting. And that's another thing. Like, there's too much money at stake that I think would negatively be affected by a purposeful fucking up of the broadcast experience for me to genuinely believe that unless ESPN is really that fucking dumb and they were just like, no one will notice this. NHL won't notice this. Sports books won't notice this. We'll get away with this. I just have a hard time believing that. So again, it all comes back to them just being dumb.
Yeah, this is crazy. So ESPN, you've been bagged, caught red-handed.
And
Pablo Torre, you are now second place.
there is
Our pal DJ is the number one investigative journalist in podcasting.
there is precedent for this show
He's a journalist.
calling
His
out.
words, not mine.
There is precedent for this show calling out part of the ESPN Plus viewing experience and then them promptly changing it.
That's true.
Not saying that it was our fault.
The other
we
one
never
was
got
way
given
more
credit.
fun. The other one was way
more
more fun, making fun of their live games. Well,
Yes.
maybe they had to change it because they were no longer offering live games. Slightly delayed games.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
why they changed
It's
it.
all making sense now.
Yes.
You've got that. That was the one that got me.
They need to pull an Oreos and find a new way to come up with saying what sounds like live games, but it's not live games. Much in the way that
Double
stuff, STUF, is nothing.
Games that are happening right now. They're happening right now. You're not watching
games
live.
that are happening. Your games, your life.
your games roughly at the time in which they are occurring in real life.
We've blown it open. Something needs to change, though. And
work.
really, I don't know what the solution is because I'm paying to watch these games. I want to watch these games. We watch 3-4 hockey games a night. That is the only avenue to legally do it. I want to do it. I want to pay for it. I want to get it, and I want to have a good experience. This is unacceptable, though. And I don't know where, like, personally as the consumer, I can draw the line. I can't say, all right, I'm canceling ESPN Plus. I won't do it. So other people, can you do it? Because I have to watch these games for my job.
Yeah, they have you by the balls, and that's unfortunate. At the very least, this uncovering allows you to be aware of what's happening so that when they rejoin a game, you can hit go live and make sure that you are where you're supposed to be.
Yes. And fair. Catherine says, no, not your games, your life, because you literally can't watch local games.
That's true.
So you are
Yeah,
not
thing.
games,
Yeah.
your life.